yet another episode of yet another beer show. I'm JT.
I'm Colin.
And today we'll be talking about absolutely nothing, actually. We actually had a hard time finding a beer for today's episode.
Christmas in July, and we couldn't find anything.
No. But we're hoping that something might be able to help us out. Someone out
We're
there.
looking at you, Santa.
Yeah.
Oh! Let's see what Santa brought us.
Nice present. It's kind of big.
I'm excited. Sounds like a beer.
Sounds like a beer. So, what we got here? Affligem. Noel. Affligem is the brewery. Noel is the name of the beer. It's a Christmas ale from a Belgian brewery. It is an Abbey ale. Again, right? And yes, an Abbey ale. Sorry, I'm just reading inside. Just got this beer, so I'm learning a lot about it right now.
So this beer has 2008 on it. So this is a seasonal brew, and this is a couple years old, or a year and a half old. So it's kind of that season.
If I was to say, this would probably be a nice recommended beer for a seasonal brew because it is made for Christmas. But it has a lot of spices actually probably mixed in with it that you can get a fuller flavor than normal Abbey ales.
Right. So I think the main thing we're trying to prove here is that just because it's a Christmas ale, it doesn't mean you can't drink it in July.
Yeah,
doesn't mean you can't have it whenever you want to.
And so I'm going to attempt to open this bottle in a nice, speedy fashion.
We have a track record here where when we go, well done. Hey, oppa.
How about that?
So
okay, that's okay. That's okay.
We've seen some brews like this before, where something like this will happen. As you open it up, lots of stuff bursts out of it, right?
It's a seasonal ale that's for celebration, and obviously it's brewed to express that.
I'm gonna just clean up after you a little bit.
I'm just gonna pour it for us a little ahead of time here, so we have some. There we go.
The thing too is that just because the beer explodes like that, it doesn't mean that it's your fault. I think we had this happen last time.
No, I'm pretty sure this was my fault.
Yeah, well, that may have been your fault, but not always. Sometimes the beer just has a lot of carbonation, has a lot of things like that in it. So it's not necessarily because you don't know how to open a beer that happened. But anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, no, it's like a normal Abbey ale that we have. You're always going to get like nice dark brown amber color from it. Always a very strong, like almost caramel type color and smell from it.
Even though it's an Abbey ale, it looks like a stout. A light stout. But
yeah, I mean, stouts usually have like the darker, like deep dark, you can't see through it color.
Right. This you can see a little bit through. But
light does get through it.
It's a fairly dark.
Yeah. So let's give it a little shot here.
Yeah.
Wow. This is definitely a full flavored beer.
Yeah.
We've had beers in previous episodes where they're lighter flavor, crisp flavors. This is just all around. You drink it, it still sits with you, and you get the same intensity of flavor the whole 9 yards.
From the moment it enters your mouth through the aftertaste.
Yeah. And as I said, this as it is a seasonal brew, it probably does have like a mixture of different spices.
You can definitely taste the spices, but none of them are too intense.
Yeah.
So it has a bit of a spicy flavor a little bit, but it's not as if there's pepper through your nose or anything like that.
Oh.
It's a good flavor. I think we're maybe a little bit off on some of the rules too. There's some ways that you're supposed to drink this. We're using kind of the incorrect glass. It strictly says on the label you should be pouring this into a goblet style glass. So that's one thing that we're doing a little bit wrong here.
And another thing actually is it's highly recommended on the bottle right here. It's very useful. It gives you a lot of information. You should read your labels on your more expensive beers because they're going to give you. Beers should be served a certain way to get the full experience, much like wine is served in special glasses, special temperatures. This is also served at a temperature that they recommend at basement cellar temperature,
exactly,
which is like 44 degrees.
Yeah, so you would keep, if you had a wine cellar, you probably don't, but if you did, you'd keep this with those down there, and that's the temperature you want to enjoy it.
And I mean, the reason for like the goblet style glass is just because, as you see, like the carbonation is very high. You want the air to spread out across.
Yeah.
That's why we're attempting to use it with these. What would you call these? Shaker.
These are a little bit tumbler. These are more like tumbler glasses.
Tumbler glasses. Okay.
We would traditionally use a pint glass, but we broke out the big guns and went with a mini pint glass.
Yeah. But I think it's done its magic. It's been pretty effective.
Yeah. So I mean. Yeah, that's a good point. There's serving suggestions for beers, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a hard fast rule. You can still enjoy this like we are. You don't have it quite right. That's probably about 40 degrees instead of 44 degrees.
Yeah.
These aren't perfect glasses.
Christmas in July.
It's July, and we've got Christmas hats on, but it's a good brew. It's really delicious. A full flavor.
Yeah, and I tend to like. My personal favorites actually are the Belgian style ales. The triples we've had before, the Abbey ales we've had before. And only because I always find, one, like Belgian beers are some of the oldest. On this side of the label, it actually says it's over 1,000 years old.
It's nearly 1,000 years old.
Nearly 1,000. Yeah. Okay. 1047,
I think, or something along those lines. So this is a recipe that's about 1,000 years old. It's way older than America is.
Way older than some European countries.
Way older than some
civilizations.
European countries. So it's an old style, and they bring it out for Christmas. I think the other thing that's interesting about this one is it's a really good size. So what you would do is you would do what JT did. You'd bring it out, you'd pop the top, make a big thing, pour some all over the place, but share it with 6 friends. Pour it out, have a bunch, and bring it out at a party. Share it with your friends, and that's why it's an ideal Christmas brew.
Yeah.
Let's finish ours up and celebrate.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas whenever you watch this episode. So thanks for watching yet another episode of Yet Another Beer Show. That's Colin.
That's JT.
And be sure to check us out on yetanotherbiershow.com, Facebook or Twitter. And thanks again.
Enjoy. Fake director.
We're good.
Yeah.
Improvise it.
Boom, boom, boom,
I like that.
I do.
Okay. How about a little countdown there? Director there? Yeah.
And go.